The key Maharashtra Minister Nawab Malik was today arrested after being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with a money laundering case linked to the activities of the Mumbai underworld, the fugitive gangster Dawood Ibrahim and his aides. He was also very vocal against the Enforcement Directorate in the Aryan Khan case. Nawab Malik was produced before a special court following over 8 hours of questioning and subsequent arrest by the Enforcement Directorate, defiantly waving his fist in the air to waiting media people while stepping out of the ED office. Mr Malik said he will not bow down. He's the second Maharashtra minister to be arrested by a central probe agency in 4 months. While Mr Malik was being questioned, NCP workers protested near the party's headquarters. The BJP has rubbished allegations of political vendetta and has accused Mr Malik of buying land from the gangster Dawood Ibrahim's aide. Soon after the arrest, Mamata Banerjee called Sharad Pawar and advised him to let Malik be in the cabinet.
कशाची केस फायली केली आता एक साधी गोष्ट आहे काही झालं आणि विशेषतः कोणी मुस्लिम कार्यकर्ता असतात ते दाऊदचं नाव घ्या लोकांना बदनाम करणं त्रास देणं सत्तेचा गैरवापर करणं आणि त्याचं मुख्य कारण की जे लोक भूमिका स्वच्छ करणारे मानतात केंद्र सरकारच्या विरुद्ध किंवा या विशेषतः या यंत्रणा याचा गैरवापर केला जातो त्या एजन्सीच्या समन्वय जे बोलतात त्यांना हा त्रास देण्याचा प्रयत्न.
महाराष्ट्र की राजनीति में राजनीति का अपराधीकरण और अपराधीकरण में से पैसा बनाना ये राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस का बरसों से इतिहास रहा है और इसी इतिहास को नवाब मलिक ने आगे बढ़ाया, जिसके कारण ईडी ने आज सवेरे उनको डिटेन किया और अब उनको अरेस्ट किया गया है. निश्चित मामला गंभीर है और महाराष्ट्र की सरकार में ऐसे मंत्री को बने रहने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है.
Well, joining us now, Clyde Crasto, spokesperson of the NCP. You're also joined by the senior Supreme Court lawyer Ashutosh Srivastava. Thank you both very much for being with us. Mr. Crasto, why do you believe that this is political vendetta?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Vishnu, it clearly reeks of political vendetta because the fact is, if you notice the last few days or a few months, every time a BJP leader tweets something, or that the ED is going to go and question so and so, or there's going to be jail for so and so, and then after a few days the central agencies go and question those people. So it just you can see it clearly that this is nothing but political vendetta. Now the question here is, when Mr. Malik was talking constantly, and he's been doing that in the last few years, and especially so in the last few months, and he's been talking, exposing the wrongdoings of the BJP, whether it's the central government or members of the BJP in Maharashtra, and he's been doing so. And there has been talk, and people have been saying, even journalists have been telling him that you be careful, or the ED will come to you. We've got news that people are talking that they're going to question you. So these things have been playing for a very long time. And we were anticipating this. We were not surprised because Mr. Malik was the most vocal person in the last few days, and he's been talking about all these people. So this is nothing but political vendetta, because the case that they are talking about is, they're talking about links with the underworld. Yeah. Absolutely, there's no substance to that.
Okay, let me just ask Ashutosh Srivastava that. The point which has been mentioned by the NCP through the day is that the charges are baseless. The links to Dawood Ibrahim is ludicrous. How do you see what this case is about?
See, I feel that these are the issues which are to be decided by the court. Obviously, there is a special court which takes care of the ED matters, and it cannot be said at this juncture whether this kind of probe is wrong or right, because it is not just the political parties who take care of the judiciary or the judicial system. It is obviously the courts who are there to take care of all these kind of matters. And if anything wrong has taken place, then obviously the court will interfere and will pass the orders accordingly.
Isn't that the worry, though, Mr. Srivastava, that we are in a system where it is alleged that law enforcement agencies, in this case the ED, in the past we've seen the Narcotics Control Bureau in different cases, a lot of people would suggest that they're just not trustworthy. They follow a particular set of orders. And this is an allegation made several times. So while you do argue that, look, let it run its course and there will be justice, how would you respond to those who say that these are instruments of various governments to try and push a political agenda?
Yes, I do agree that if there is any abuse of process of law, or when there is any abuse of the powers by any investigating agencies, then obviously, the aggrieved party has every right, and legally he is able to go to the concerned court and say that this is what is being done wrongfully, and this is not as per the law. The law is very clear on these lines. And if anybody does something beyond its powers and misuse the powers, obviously they are punished. We have seen in several cases before also that even High Court has indulged, or maybe the Supreme Court has taken cognizance of such kind of misuse of powers by the investigating agencies.
Right.
But see, all these kind of arrests cannot always be said to be wrongful. That depends on the further proceedings in the matter.
All right, so let's see what those proceedings actually. I get that point. Time-honored point, I might add, and hopefully there'll be justice at the end of the day. Mr. Crasto, how is this, in your opinion, an effort at trying to shut down the voice of somebody who's been vocal against corruption and a whole lot of other things?
Vishnu, if you jog back your memory, some time ago, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, mentioned this whole issue. He came up with this issue saying that this place has been bought by somebody who's linked to underworld gangster.
Yeah.
The point here is this transaction did not happen with any of those people that they're talking about. Sardar Shah Ali Khan that they're talking about, then one Patel they're talking about. See, Sardar Shah Ali Khan's father had encroached upon a piece of land there. Now, Mr. Malik and his family were tenants of Goawala compound. So they wanted to buy the ownership rights, and while they bought the ownership rights of that place, this man, Sardar Shah Ali Khan's father, had encroached upon a particular land. All they did was they paid him off and cleared the name. So that is the father of the accused. Okay,
right.
And Patel has got power of attorney from the landlady of Goawala compound.
All right, let's see what finally happens, so Mr. Crasto, because the ED's case,
there a direct link?
As per the remand application, is quite strong. They say that Nawab Malik usurped 300 crores worth of property of Munira and family for a mere 55 lakhs through Hasina Parker, Dawood's sister Salim Patel, and Sardar Khan. But because there is no FIR in this case, the ED cannot initiate an investigation. So the case was built through Dawood Ibrahim. The NIA in February 2022 registered a case against Dawood and his associates for alleging terror financing through Hawala links. So a couple of important points over there. Let's see if there is any answer. I'd like to thank you both very much for being with us.